Democracy has played a big role. One of the very optimistic movements, but also one of the mistakes that I hope that a younger democracy like this can learn from, is that in the Danish schools we spent tons of energy and enthusiasm during the 70s and the 80s introducing democratic values in schools. Not only because it was a logical task for schools to prepare children to live in a democracy, but also simply because everybody felt that it was time that the children had more of a voice. This turned out, or this gave us a very important lesson, which we have also transferred into families. And this lesson is that although the democratic values are very valuable, they are not enough. They are not sufficient enough to keep an organism like a school or a school class or a family living and working. We need additional values in order to do that. I will get back to one of the major frustration points a little later. We also have gradually, since the 70s, been introducing a new job for schools, which is to be partly responsible for the individual, personal and social development of children. And I'm sure all of you have heard the phrase social competence that many schools are complaining that children do not have anymore. So there are many reasons to say, well, teachers need new skills, simply, because their job is not what it was. If you look at the relationships that teachers should be able to function in, we have and headmasters, of course. We have the headmaster-teacher relationship, the teacher-teacher, the teacher-child, and groups of children, and the teacher-parent relationship. This calls for leadership, not only from headmasters, but being a teacher is exercising leadership every day, no matter where it is. This is another thing that is not included in the education of teachers, and very often not in the postgraduate education either. So it is based on relationships for which we know how we can develop skills, and we also know that because teachers are intelligent, most of them are motivated, they can change their daily practice much, much faster than others. Before we started working with schools, we were working with child psychiatry, we were working with kindergartens, we were working with old people's homes and other kinds of institutions. And we were surprised, happily surprised, that once a school had decided to make some changes, they were able to do it very, very quickly, within 2-3 years. But it is all based on the relationships between people. Therefore, I'm going to say a few things about what is an interpersonal relationship. What is this process that is going on? Why is that important now that it is not anymore just a means of upholding obedience? The nature of an interpersonal relationship is that it contains two very important elements. The content, this is the old familiar thing for schools, the subjects that we teach, the activities that we have, and so on. This is what we are doing. The process, which is how we are doing it, has been, in terms of school, almost neglected. We have simply come to the conclusion that whatever the teacher does is okay because he or she is a teacher. That means that you can do all the right things. We had a very, very beautiful documentary on Danish television 2 years ago showing a young teacher, a young woman who came out and she started with third degree or third class. That means children that were, around 9 years old, 8, 9 years old. And she was a very nice lady. She was intelligent, she was as well educated as you can get. She was social, she was likable, she liked, obviously, children, she liked her profession. And this television crew was following her over 1 year with one class. And what started out as almost a romance between her and these 30 children ended up as a disaster. She ended up with a nervous breakdown and has, to my knowledge, never gone back to teaching. She had all the qualifications you can want, except one. She did not know how to relate. Meaning that since it is not allowed anymore to beat children, you're not allowed, to use violence, you're not allowed to beat the shit out of them and send them home and all these things. It means that not only are the boundaries of children being violated every day in school, but the boundaries of teachers are being violated just as much. In her case, it made her sick, and everybody was wondering, what is this? Why is this happening? What is happening with today's children is what everybody asked. The process always wins over the content. So how you make a decision in your family, in your place of work, in your group of friends, is much more important than what you decide. And very often it will be very decisive for the quality of what comes after the meeting or after the decision.